What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to The Awakening World. I'm your host, Love Coach Scott Katamas, and tonight we've got kind of two really exciting different pieces. We are good friends with our colleagues at Unity Earth, and I'm really grateful that for the first half of the show, my co-host will be the wonderful Ben Bowler and his incredible partner, Irina Morrison. And they're going to be sharing with us the highlights of the recent, where are you, Irina? There you are. They're going to be sharing with us the highlights of the recent Unity Earth Symposium, just like what you see behind Ben there. Every year they do this extraordinary symposium, and we're going to take a look at some of the highlights, look and hear from some of the presenters, and of course, chat with you, our Zoom room audience. I also want to welcome everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. And definitely send us your thoughts and comments, and we'll do our best to read those online. And we, of course, have Omar Shar, who's going to give us 3 songs. But we also have something very special. Mayor Cromwell, our dear friend, is back with us. And she's got a really special announcement to make. She's also going to, this is a woman who's very connected to our beloved Divine Mother, Gaia. And so she's going to connect to the earth, to Mother Gaia, and give us a little message of what she perceives Mama has to say to us, and also let us know about a big event that we all want to be a part of. So it's going to be a really fun show. For those of you in the Zoom room, let us know where you are geographically, and let us know if you watched parts of the Unity Earth Symposium and what stood out for you, because we're going to comment on that. And to get us rocking and rolling, I'm going to turn things over to the irrepressible house musical artist for the Wahis tribe, Mr. Omar Shar.
Well, namaste, everybody, and irrepressible I am. So I love that, Scott. Thank you so much. And our Facebook family and YouTube family, thank you so much for joining us. We are with you right in here. So without further ado, I need to mute a couple of people. Hang on. Can you co-host me, please, again? All right. Thank you. Just when you think that all is lost, curtain looks to fall. Perhaps it's just a song of hope that calls, and your trust in life exposed. No need to sit around and mope. Where there is love, there's always hope. Trust in your life and you will see that you reflect as me. Another day is here for you to live, and I'll walk it through with you. There is no doubt your heart is pure and true, so I came to remind you. No need to sit around and mope. Where there is love, there's always hope. Trust in your life and you will see that you reflect as me. All that you will see. Have trust in your life and trust in me. Dust yourself down and I'll lift you up. I will fill your loving cup. Just when you thought that all was lost, remind you. No need to sit around and mope. Where there is love, there's always hope. Trust in your life and you will see that you reflect as me.
And let's go to gallery view, and I'll give love and hearts and all that good love to our beloved Omar. Thank you.
Maybe a couple of pumpkins would be nice.
Absolutely. I want to take a moment. I know that your mom has taken a turn.
Oof.
And can we send you and her some maximum grace?
Yes, thank you. And her partner, they must have a soul contract. When she went into hospital last week, and her partner, almost 2 days later, fell deathly ill, and he was the one looking after her, and so it's a double whammy. And so in 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to work out to get over there. Anyway, blah blah blah. Thank you. Yes, receiving.
Absolutely, maximum grace. What's your mother and her partner's names?
Kate and Roy.
Kate and Roy. Maximum grace for Kate and Roy.
Thank you.
Well, here is our beloved friend Ben and his colleague and partner Irina. And one of the things I love about our show now, that we're almost completing 6 years of doing this, is our partnerships. And one of our favorite partnerships is with Unity Earth. And we've been working with you, Ben, from the very beginning when we first got started back in 2020. And every year you have your symposium, but this year you did it at the same time. I was at the Conscious Life Expo, and so I wasn't able to participate as I normally do. And so thank you for both of you for being with us tonight and putting together this kind of special greatest hits clip, if you will. And while I pull it up, I'd love for you to just share with the audience, anybody who doesn't know about Unity Earth, about the symposium, if you could introduce that for us, please.
Oh, Irina, do you want to kick that off and then I'll follow up?
Why do you do this to me every time? So, for those who don't know about Unity Earth or the Symposium, Unity Earth is a global organization, and we have been in partnership with Scott for many years, as he mentioned. So, we do events mainly bringing people together, creating that container, a platform where we can, magnify the energies of peace and oneness. Our major events, online events, are World Unity Week in June and Peace Week in September. And Unity Earth Symposium is one of those annual events that happens every February. And yes, this year we did do it a little bit later in the month than we usually do. So Unity Earth Symposium kind of sets the tone for the following events for the year. This year's theme, Spiraling Up, a New Energy for Planetary Consciousness. What can I say? It wasn't just a catchy tagline. It felt like collective rise into a more mature, more responsible kind of our collective consciousness. It reminded us that even with all the chaos in the world, and it feels like world is spiraling out of control, we actually felt that deeper, more intentional movement of spiraling up instead of out of control. Yes, it was a wonderful event. I'm really glad that to Scott and that we have this opportunity to share the highlights. And I'm quite curious to hear your comments from the audience, and what feelings and thoughts it stirs up within you. So the symposium may have ended, but the spiral is only widening.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, Irina. Thank you. Such a wonderful explanation of what happened in February at the symposium. And Scott, let me echo what Irina said, that we're really grateful to be back here at the Global Peace Tribe and the Awakening World. And yes, it is a long running, I think we're twins, right? So let me just zoom out a little bit and a thought experiment. Think about people in the future and historians when they look back at this time. When will they say that the new era began? And I think there's a strong argument that you could say December 2012 with the Mayan calendar, and there are so many birth events and so many initiatives got launched, and we know so many of them, including our first intercultural festival was across those 2 days in Thailand. Unified did their first meditation, Barbara Marx Hubbard, Steve Dunn, and where were you? December 21, 2012. It was an epic moment. But I think an equally valid argument of when the new era began would have been this time 6 years ago, in March 2020, when everything changed. And it was out of that time that the Global Peace Tribe, the Awakening World, was born, and World Unity Week was born. Purpose Earth emerged, and so much else besides. So I think we are living in the new era. We just haven't named it yet. But I think that we emerged, and certainly those platforms of World Unity Week and the Global Peace Tribe, coming out of that same space, out of that shared intention. So we are joined at the heart, and we are certainly joined at the solar plexus, I think, Scott, with our collective will here of what we are doing together. So we're part of the family, and we're all part of the one family. So it's great to be back here. The symposium was amazing. The speakers, Irina did an incredible job. Kurt Johnson did an amazing. Let me just say one quick thing about it. The first public day on the 21st of February was all about partnerships, networks, alliances, and coalitions. And you're going to see messages from Julie Krull and Dr. Jude Caravan and Rian Eisler and many, many others that speak passionately. John Raymer, many others that are passionate about this space, Laura Rose, etc. It was an incredible lineup. And then what was the third day on the 22nd of February was all about the future of interspirituality. Kurt Johnson, the anthologies, Matthew Fox as a keynote. Where are we going in our collective spiritual culture as humanity? Fascinating, brilliant, and insightful presentations. The original day was kind of a family call for Unity Earth on the 20th of February, which we had set before we even knew about the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune that was happening at 0 degree Aries, and then everyone got very excited about the 20th of February. So it was very aligned and perfect, and the sort of three-part symphony that went into, and as Irina said, spiraling up a new energy for planetary consciousness. It wasn't just the spoken word. What we got back from the symposium is people were experiencing that, a spiraling up and a new energy for planetary consciousness, to which we're all a part and which we all belong. So thank you for doing this, brother. It's wonderful to be here with you and the Global Peace Tribe.
Well, I'm going to start the video in about 1 minute, but I want to riff on one thing that you were talking about. And that is, it's interesting. Earlier this morning, I was in a Zoom room with Julie Kroll and Scarlett, formerly known as Tammy. And Scarlett was bringing up how when the pandemic hit in 2020, everything changed. And we all knew that everything changed. And while this kind of chaotic thing was happening, it gave birth to all these organizations, Unity Earth, the Global Peace Tribe, the Connection Field. And you know, we love that analogy of the caterpillar that has feasted itself to death, overconsumed itself to death, and then it dies, and this soup is formed out of its self, and there's imaginal cells that find each other. And one imaginal cell is Unity Earth, and one imaginal cell is Connection Field, and one imaginal cell is the Global Peace Tribe. And then within that are all of the individuals that are watching us and that watch all of these programs. And we all are coming together to create the butterfly, to create the new paradigm. And I want to acknowledge that it feels to me like 2026, as the year of the snake shedding its skin, the fire horse moving forward. Now we have to really increase our efforts again, because there's a new war. And this new war is an especially terrifying new war for how it could escalate. And for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And all of us are that opposite reaction. We are the Global Peace Tribe. We are Unity Earth. We are those who are holding the space for a new paradigm of peace. So it feels like, okay, we're shifting gears once again, just like we did in 2020, 2026, we're having to shift gears again into even increasing our efforts together. So those are some of my thoughts, and I would imagine that the two of you can relate to that.
Beautiful.
All right, let's take a look at the video. Now we're going to periodically stop it and get comments. So all of our Zoom roomers, please pop, as you're watching, comments into the chat box. I'm going to periodically stop. We'll talk about what we just saw, and I'll read some of your comments. And of course,
and Scott, if I can just real quick give a shout out to Tom Fellner, who at short notice had to go through 11 hours of video to produce this 45-minute package. So deep bows to Tom Fellner. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Thank you. Let's make sure we send this video of tonight's show to Tom so he knows that. All right, here we go. Oh, that's Unity Earth, actually, which, while I've got it up, I just want people to know that to learn all about Unity Earth, go to unity.earth. And that's where you can discover all about this wonderful organization that Ben and Irina have put together, along with many other colleagues. And we're also going to meet one of their favorite colleagues, Amanda Waring, a little bit later in tonight's show as well. All right, here is the video. I keep going to the wrong thing. Let's go to, there we go.
We're gathered under the beautiful theme of spiraling up. And I love that phrase, because spiraling up doesn't mean rejecting everything that came before. honoring what brought us here while becoming willing to release what we can that no longer will carry the future. And that is the invitation I want to name today. Not just how do we collaborate better, but deeper. What kind of consciousness is required for collaboration to become truly transformative? And what kind of leadership is required if we're serious about impact? Not just in numbers, but in depth, integrity, and planetary consciousness. Planetary consequence, impact. So my answer is harmonic leadership. Leadership rooted in energy, frequency, vibration, resonance, coherence, presence, and emergence. Tesla said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So what if that is also the directive for this conversation? What if our greatest partnership challenge in 2026 is not primarily organizational, but vibrational? Because many of us are still trying to build unity using the architecture of separation. We're still conditioned by brand competition, scarcity and funding competition, control-based decision-making, fear of losing relevance, and inherited structures that reward fragmentation. And then we wonder why so many coalitions become exhausting. You cannot build a unity movement with the architecture of separation. We need a new operating system. And that operating system is rooted in what many of us here know deeply, a unitive narrative, a lived recognition that reality itself is interdependent, relational, and whole. In the unitive age, partnership is no longer my mission plus your mission. It becomes shared stewardship for the good of the whole, for Earth, all life, and future generations. That shift changes everything.
History. Despite the turbulence and uncertainty that often surround us, there is a subtle yet a profound awakening unfolding, a maturation of our collective awareness and a growing sense of responsibility toward Mother Earth. This new energy is more than a passing feeling. It signifies a fundamental shift in how we see ourselves in relation to one another and to the planet. It urges us to move beyond immediate concern and recognize the interconnectedness that unites all life. In doing so, it fosters a commitment to stewardship and care that's both urgent and enduring.
How do people build sustainable, regenerative, sustainable initiatives? It's always, and in every case, in deep connection to the roots of our shared humanity, deeply connected to home, deeply connected to culture and to nature. And as such, we are moving. We feel in the new way of partnership that can accelerate us and can bring us into a paradigm of unity. We are moving from bilateral transactional perspectives of partnership. And I admit I even started to dislike the term of partnership because somehow it has been overly abused. We are moving much more into ecosystemic relational perspective. The currency of the future is not what's in it for me, but what is it that together we can serve? It's not anymore what is our shared strategy and how can you serve my strategy and I yours, but what is the common story we are holding and building.
Exactly, where it's relationship and the mutual care, I would even say love, because in the Unity family, we really feel every day that love and mutual care. Which is the currency, not performance, not outcomes. Julie, you said it so well, not all of those quantitative results, because it's really this deep care. It's, as you said it, it's not anymore the old between sectors, Julie. What we found is in this approach, we've had, in fact, from the most unorganized, spontaneous grassroots movements, which have come forward in co-creation more than partnership, to the enterprises, businesses, to universities, which have become homes for humanity, and to, in the Philippines in December, an entire municipality. So from the police and the army to the municipality to the former warlords in Mindanao became a home for humanity.
Violence. And so my journey over the last few years was to study the teachings of Jesus, independent of religion, independent of institutions. And what I found in his teachings was an amazing person who went through his own personal transformation journey into consciousness, in what he defined as kingdom consciousness, maybe a term that doesn't fit in our language today, but what we would call the beloved community consciousness, the oneness of humanity. And in that consciousness, he also taught us how to move in that consciousness. He wasn't about people believing in him and that he died for our sins so that we would have life in the afterlife. It was about how we live and manifest this consciousness on earth today. And I know that many people around the world are engaging in consciousness work, spirituality, enlightenment spaces. And I want to challenge a lot of what's happening in this world, because many of us who are engaging in this are disconnecting from what is. We feel as if we have gained some insight that makes us look at others as different, that they are living an illusion and we are entering into reality. And what I want to invite us is to look at this as still we are trapped in that old consciousness, in the consciousness of patriarchy, in the consciousness of duality, in the consciousness of us and them, in the consciousness of right and wrong, in the consciousness of judging those who are not like us. And I want to really challenge us in the spiritual world to really begin to understand that for us to move into the new consciousness, it means to fully be present to fully what is happening in the here and now. And this is what Jesus was teaching.
Before we get to Pato, they did pause that.
We could all be united. Tell me why this so.
I want to comment on what just happened. Pato.
Planet Earth can provide everybody's needs. Tell me why this.
There we go. We will definitely go to Pato in a moment. But the gentleman who was just speaking is not someone I've seen before. So I'd love for you to tell us who that was. And I noticed that there were some comments that came in from our audience. So, there was a very dynamic statement he was making. So first off, tell us who that gentleman was.
Oh, yeah. Well, that, as Irina said in the chat, and for those who maybe can't see the chat, that was Sami Awad. Actually, he is a contact of Tom Fellner, who made the edit of the video. But Sami is extraordinary. He is a Palestinian peace builder. He lives in Bethlehem. He's from the minority Christian community in Palestine, and a phenomenal, authentic voice of our time. So we're very, very grateful to have him and speaking so eloquently about the studies he's done on Jesus. He's got a book out, and I think it's called The Awakening. We'll find it, Irina. We'll get it in the chat. He's got a book out at the moment, which is all around awakening, Scott, which is great. But it's really about his removing all the kind of millennia of crossified religious perspectives and going into the heart of who was this man, Jesus of Nazareth. And that's the work that Sami's done. And then he's asking, what has he got to say to us today? In particular, in the context that Sami lives in, Palestine and Israel, and the conflict, never ending, it would seem. But he's really identifying the heart of the message, which you can boil down to the Sermon on the Mount, and love thy enemies. But Sami's extraordinary. He's a very important voice, Scott. Thanks for highlighting him.
Yeah, absolutely. Whoops. And we're going to go to Pato in a moment. And I was with Pato and Antoinette at the Conscious Life Expo. And then a couple of days after the expo, I went and I visited Adensha, which I believe you've done that when you were out for the LA Convergence. So we went out and took a look at their property and spent the day with them, which was quite wonderful. So anyway,
Adventure's amazing. Adventure's amazing. What an experience! And Sami's book, just to close that loop, is called The Sacred Awakening, and it's just out. So go and find it.
yeah, if you can find that link easily, pop it in the chat box for everybody. A couple of comments that have come in, which I do want to read. Eleanor Joy writes, "Be in the here and now, plus have a consciousness of we rather than me, starting with our current relationships, whether of an intimate nature or a casual nature." Absolutely, Eleanor Joy. Thank you for putting that in there. And Tiara was tuning in and feeling the Christ consciousness. So I want to acknowledge that. And Ayada writes, "Hello, dear tribe. Sending loving blessings to all from the sacred Salish Sea. I feel so blessed to be part of this community, particularly in these fraught times, and recognizing, yes, we started at the start of COVID. And with the greater escalation into war, she acknowledges how important it is for us to all come together in connection, peace, love, kindness, wisdom, and solidarity." Those are Ayada's beautiful words. And we now get to go one of our absolute favorites.
Before we continue, Scott, do you have your computer sound on properly? The sound, the music's a little interesting. Might be the recording. The voice is okay.
I'm looking at my sound. I've got noise removal on. I don't have original sound on.
Yeah, just try that. But it's when you share screen, there's 3 buttons at the top, and you go down and it says share computer sound, and you can increase the quality there.
Yeah. I've got the share sound on.
Okay, let's just go for it. It might be the recording.
To stereo.
Sure, it might be the recording. It's all good.
Okay.
The voice has sounded perfect. Thank you.
All right. And I'm going to go back just a little bit to the start of Pato, since I kind of interrupted. There we go.
When we could all be uniting, tell me why there's so much greed. When planet Earth can provide everybody's needs, tell me why there's so much division. When we got so much in common, to see a change you gotta be the change. Shine your light, stand up for the right, and let's unite as we all come together as a spiritual family. Let's unite as we all come together on this caravan of you.
Can you make it full screen, Scott?
Let's unite as we all come together as a spiritual family. One love. Let's unite as we all come together on this caravan of unity. Well, they say each one teach one, but first we've got to reach one. So we're reaching out to the world for more unification. UNITY spells a unity. That's what we need in our global community. No more hate, prejudice, or animosity. Let's replace that with generosity. One for all and all for one. Each one teach one how to get along. Divided we fall, but together we strong. And if we stand up together, we could never go wrong. Let's unite as we all come together as a spiritual family. Let's unite as we all come together on this caravan of unity.
All connected. Have you seen a rising temperature in people's willingness to collaborate and lowering the barriers to really enter into meaningful partnerships and alliances?
Actually, for us at Fuji Sanctuary, it was us that had this transformation kind of. In the beginning, it was only for our members praying for peace, and we were devoted in protecting Fuji Sanctuary for the members of our community. But we realized, and this again comes from Nipun, a circle is beautiful, but a circle creates boundaries with inside and outside. And what we need is one twist to make it Mobius so that anyone can naturally come in and anyone can naturally move out, which creates a flow and movement. And when we were saying, okay, we're ready, we don't want to be a closed community, we want anyone to come and share, then Benson started to come, and Alexander and Damasan started to come. And then there was this beautiful harmony and collaboration happening. So, of course, your question was more with the outside, but it started within, is our experience. And when we're ready, I think the like-minded people come and go, and it's such a beautiful energy. And that created it really started to create a new environment and culture for us.
Julie talked about coherence. Well, that's one step on the way. The first is to get to consensus. Do we understand what we're actually seeing here? And do we come into consensus to move into coherence, to start to recognize with that shared understanding how we're going to make the changes that need to happen, and how do we care for those changes? So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So hopefully you guys can see a title slide that says Partnerships, Alliances, Networks, and Coalitions. And there are 4 areas that we've identified as concerns, the 4 questions having to do with this. These are not the questions, these are just the domains here. So, hey, what's happening when partnerships actually work? And then what are the barriers, the frictions, and the breakthroughs that we need? And what are some of the hard-earned partnership wisdom, things that we've learned, so that maybe we can accelerate our own collective learning and identify what are the opportunities not to miss and what are the pitfalls to avoid? And then how are we going to scale? You mentioned this 10 times scale, scaling what matters now. So I'm going to show you one. Let's just do one question so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So the question, when partnerships work, well, what are the conditions, relational, cultural, or structural, that really helped build trust and a shared sense of purpose across those differences, right? All right, so these are the 4 concerns identified, and we'll drill down on one of them now, though they're the amazing answers, and they represent the consensus of all of us. Let's see if this really speaks to you, each of us. So when partnerships work, that's the one I was going to drill down on. So what conditions, relational, cultural, or structural, help to build that trust and a shared sense of purpose across all these differences? Well, let me show you. So Summer, why don't you read? So this is the answers that were summarized.
Okay, so shared purpose. Partnerships thrive when they are grounded in a shared purpose that serves something larger than any one individual. And then trust?
Let's go this way.
Okay, relational safety. Deep listening, mutual respect, and honest communication create relational safety. Inner work. Ultimately, strong collaboration depends on inner work, individuals willing to move beyond ego and align around a greater good. Trust. Trust is built through integrity, transparency, accountability, and a willingness to repair conflict. Structural coherence. While clear roles and decision-making processes provide structural coherence.
And for us to scale and deepen our collaborative efforts to spiral up in this new energy for planetary consciousness, I propose that we can best, and perhaps only, do so by standing together on the ground that unity is not an aspiration, but our existential reality and our emergent evolutionary potential. Well, this then, I suggest, enables us to do individually and communally stand for and align unitive values and purpose to serve love in action. We come together today, and to do so at a time and with the energies of a harmonic emergence and year of the fire horse, inspiring and empowering us, underpinned and framed by a coming revolution of our collective worldview.
The consciousness that we're all interconnected is really not new. As those of you familiar with my book, with The Chalice and the Blade, Our History, Our Future know, and as those of you keeping up with new information that's emerging about earlier cultures like Çatalhöyük know, for millennia in our prehistory, human culture oriented more to the partnership side rather than the domination side of the partnership domination social scale. They were sustainable, equitable, less violent, and yes, their art shows that their belief system supported the knowledge that is emerging today from no less than physics, that we're all interconnected.
We can now trace through the archaeological record and the work of people like Jean Gebser, Merlin Donald, and Rian Eisler, very distinct developmental eras that have occurred. And we run into Rian Eisler's work in the most recent of these stages, between about 10,000 years ago and 5,000 years ago. But what she revealed that's really so stunning in The Chalice and the Blade was that between about 10,000 and 5,000 years ago, there were societies, Çatalhöyük and Jericho, and eventually the Minoan civilization on Crete, where men and women really worked in partnership, and there was a high regard for nature. There was no war, no evidence of war, no weaponry, no walled cities. This is really very new knowledge that's not even completely accepted. It's somewhat of a misconception that these were matriarchal societies, and matriarchy is just another archy, just another hierarchy. Women were highly regarded, and the Mother Earth goddess was revered. But there's a lot of evidence of partnership. But this changed radically around 5,000 years ago, and probably due to invasions from the Asian steppes by nomadic horsemen who literally decimated and slaughtered these beautiful societies. And it became necessary to have walled cities and to develop defense mechanisms. So right around 5,000 years ago was the birth of the domination culture.
So this planetary consciousness is a call to shift from seeing our role as taking dominion over the earth, which has caused the economically exploitative and extractive industries and behaviors that led to massive deforestation and pollution of these vital natural resources, to that of the return of an understanding that our relationship to the earth is sacred, and we must respect and honor all that is sacred.
Well, one thing we point out, and all of you remember this, that in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, we really thought we were on a stepwise progression to a kinder and better world. We had the work of Paul Ray, we had the work of Paul Hawken, and so many other optimists who were telling us that we were on that direction. But what's happened, as we point out, is that instead we've moved into a regressive period. And it's a regressive period that's really based on three things we pointed out that the original pioneers of inner spirituality did not anticipate. And those three things are these. First was disaffiliation from the great wisdom tradition. And what that has meant is so many people in the world, particularly younger people, do not have access readily to those deep, deep values and those depths of consciousness and behavior. The second thing that wasn't anticipated was this rise of nationalist populism and the move toward authoritarianism and away from democracy on a global level. And the third thing that was not anticipated was the move away from printed media, which was more reflective, and to screen media, from which then we have had the development of the misinformation and the disinformation era. And actually a group of over 100 sociologists declared these three changes as an evolutionary catastrophe. And the definition of an evolutionary catastrophe in science is something that so changes the norm that you have no idea of how you would get back to any type of a new normal. So where we end up is very much from the panel this morning by Rian Eisler, Jude Curvan, and Roger Briggs, and that is realizing that we are living in a world that's basically based on domination systems, and how those domination systems work within the realm of the family and home, and how we grow up, how they work in economics, how they work in politics, and even in the stories that a culture tells, and all the stories about who's in and who's out in the ranking systems that those domination views purvey. And obviously, we're going to have to move from the domination systems to the partnership systems if we're going to survive, if not having any chance to thrive.
I'm going to pause there for a moment. And I know that Ben needs to leave in a few minutes, so I want to kind of just comment because, Jude Curvan presents such a beautiful vision for the unitive narrative, which is, I think, what we all are signing up for. But Kurt just expressed some very real, legitimate concerns about how things seem to be going in the opposite direction. I'm curious for Ben and Irina, what were some of the comments from the audience or other parts of that perspective? Because that's a very dynamic juxtaposition.
Yeah, I mean, a real world conversation is aware of the dynamics that are happening in, if we look at the emergence of the new world and we talk about the falling away of the old world, there are different perspectives, Scott, aren't there? Sometimes people say, don't worry about the old world at all. Just live in the high vibration of the new and emerging paradigm. And that's great if you can do it. And that's a beautiful way to approach it. Others may be more about hospicing the old dying systems. And others may be more of a bit of a balance or a bridge between the two of them. I think what Kurt's laying out there with great intellectual authority and rigor is to be aware of the major systems that are transitioning, that are not wanting an awakened world, that are not wanting a global peace tribe or unity Earth, and that may be obstacles to us achieving what we're all working together towards. So I think it's good to be aware of that, and some people are called to be more conscious of that, and others are called to be more conscious of birthing the new paradigm. Irina, what are your thoughts?
I do agree with you that the feedback or the comments were mixture of everything, a little bit of everything. But I think that the main message was loud and clear and received very well, that to move forward, that coherent society is necessary, the partnership, the unity, and to spiral up, to evolve further as a race and globally, collectively, that communities need to consciously evolve together in that coherent movement. So I think that main message was very well received, and gladly, I think the entire vibe throughout the symposium was very, very high. Thanking to our guests and speakers and everyone who spoke so deeply and meaningfully about where we need to go.
There are 3 videos in the chat box for our Zoom room audience that are really worth watching. One is from Reverend Jeffrey, all about the latest on the age of physics and spirit and the unified human. Then there's a 5-minute video I recently recorded about what I learned from one of my great teachers, Grandfather David, about moving from money, sex, and power as what we're striving for, and replacing that with service, devotion, and humility. And I would love for people to watch that video. It's only 5 minutes long. And then the brilliant Jude Curvan, about a year ago, created an extraordinary video It's 15 minutes long or 16 minutes long, all about the unitive narrative and the true nature of reality. I think it's brilliant. So 3 videos in the chat box. In case we don't get a chance to say hello or goodbye to you, Ben, our partner Omashar just wrote in the chat box, Ben, I'm also feeling that within myself, this resistance to awakening, perhaps it's birthing pains. Connie Baxter Marlowe writes, the vibe was impeccably high in the Symposium. It is key that we feed the collective consciousness with the highest vibration we're capable of. Ben, your final words of wisdom or anything you want the audience to know before you depart?
Well, this is beautiful. I just texted Irina and said it's wonderful to be reliving the Symposium. It really was. And he is so special. Tom Fellner has come in the room, by the way, Scott. So we were singing his praises earlier, the editor extraordinaire of this highlights package and digital marketing whiz for Unity Earth and other things. So it's great to have Tom here.
Thank you so much, Tom. You did a great job.
Yeah, we gave him about 24 hours notice and he managed to do it as a volunteer. But that's the love and the commitment that it takes. We see it a lot in the Global Peace Tribe. We have it a lot in the community. So we take trust and faith. We're living at very challenging and difficult times. And it's so important, these communities, the platform that you offer, Scott, to maintain that positive vibration. What Brother Omashar shared and what Connie shared are so, kind of pivotal to, we need to maintain our own level of consciousness. I would encourage people, if they were, called by any of the speakers, including the ones coming up, dig a little deeper. Go and look up Sami Awad and his book. Watch the Jude Caravan video. Find out what Julie Krull is doing with the Coherence community. There is so many resources. This is just a sample of them. It's a beautiful selection, but it is on us to maintain our level of consciousness in these challenging times and to be trees under which others can gather and community can come together. So thank you, Scott, for being a big tree in this community. It's lovely to be here with you and with my beloved sister, Irina, as well. I'll stay for a few minutes and I'll need to pop out, but it's been...
Well, you'll be here just in time for an Omashar song because we're going to we're at about close to the mid-show, not quite. So Omashar is going to do his mid-show song and then we'll play the remainder of Tom's video. But here is Omashar. Oops, that's Ben. There's Omashar. You're muted.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was taken by surprise. Un momento. Here we go.
I would like to see Omashar does meatloaf. I'd be down for that.
I can't do that. No, I won't do that.
The open roads of this brand new start, the peace that flows through this loving heart, 'cause freedom comes with letting go. Life renewed, new seeds to sow. Take my hand, I'm with you now. Relax yourself, your furrowed brow. The past is gone, so say hello. No looking back, with family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise our brand new day. New mountain peaks for us to climb. New roads to walk, no reason why. It's time to know that we are one. With all of life, the central sun. And this is the life awaiting us. With family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise our brand new day. Cause freedom comes with letting go. This life renewed, new seeds to sow.
I want to ask as we give love and twinkles, who got chills just now? Because I sure was getting chills during that song. That was every line is so appropriate, and I could see something. I mean, Ian was losing it. Walk out like that.
Maybe he was gaining it.
He was gaining it. He was gaining it, and then Mare and Desiree, who were clearly feeling it. That was beautiful. That was very.
This is a whole circuit. What I'm noticing is like that we are really, truly, utterly doing this collectively. We may do our own individual practices and come-uppances, etc., but we're rising together. And I find that the more we're in cohesion, the more the source seems to sing through me. And I know that all our other beautiful high consciousness musicians would probably concur. And so this is me just singing the collective. And I really felt the power during this, because I think what Tom Fellner did with the Symposium was magic. 11, I mean, we have still more to see. 11 hours distilled into 45 minutes of the most salient points possible. It's amazing. And so I think this is just a collective spiraling up that we're experiencing right now. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Omar Shah. And of course, Omar Shah will close us out at the end of the show. We're going to go at least another hour, everybody, so have some tea. Irina is still with us to co-host as we watch the remainder of the video. And thank you again, Tom, for putting it together. And then we're going to hear from Amanda Waring and Mayor Cromwell. So we've got a lot left. And I'm hoping, yep, okay, good. Here is where we left off. Here we go.
Now that we see and know the way to lift our day and shine the light for all to see, the way back home and the way to be free. Let our love lead the way. Let the light shine through all. Let our hearts and minds be free. As we rise up from the fall.
Clearly, we are living in a most critical moment in history. And, you know, as a liaison for many years between the private sector and the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs, all up until the pandemic, I was a believer that governments were going to be the solution. I really felt that we were on this extraordinary path, as Jonathan talked about, you know, an amazing path, and Kurt, to sort of a civil society that influenced democracies. And what we're seeing now is that we can't even agree on the value of vaccinations, much less how to treat hardworking immigrants that support so many of us. And I think what we're coming to understand is that it's groups of people and organizations like the ones represented here today that are the essential basis for our future survival, and more than that, for our survival, for our thriving. So, you know, as we move from isolated initiatives to interconnected ecosystems, from guarding our ownership of our projects to starting to embrace our shared emergence as a vibrant field of collaboration, I just want to say that I think the Holo movement is one example of what becomes possible when these ideals are put into practice. When we have catalytic social movements aligning purpose and unifying values in service to the greatest good. The Holo movement isn't an organization. It's not a nonprofit. It's not a business. It doesn't even have a bank account. It's a community of like-minded organizations supporting one another's autonomy while discovering the shared purpose that allows us to amplify one another's impact. And what we've seen through ever-growing circles of alliances with Unity Earth, Gender Equity Reconciliation, LightNet, Metaculture, She's the Universe, the Choose Love Movement, Home for Humanity, Kinship Earth, the Conscious Healing Initiative, Juntos Regenerative Farm, Pro-Social World, and Spirituality, to name just a few. What we see is that through the formation of what we also call holons, groups of 3 or more people united by a common mission, that these small constellations are intimate enough to stay human, yet powerful enough to radiate coherence into the larger field.
I think that what we're talking about here also, the learning how to co-create on another level and in a different way, and what we're also, of course, doing in One World and in all kinds of other ways, that's the step I feel is now becoming more and more able. And I can see our journey also with the 99 days, with the seasonal programs that we've done and the 99 days, and then the further developing of that. There is kind of like a more capacity for us to do that, and the way we're using AI as well. But there's also, I think, the necessity, because of all the shadows that are coming into the light, there is more longing to do something differently. And I think that really has to do with co-creation. Life is all about co-creation. That's why we're here. Otherwise, if there hadn't been co-creation between my parents, I wouldn't be here. So it's really at the heart of that. And to find the ways to meet people where they are at and then take them on a journey. And some can go very far, and some can have just enough courage perhaps to take one step, or just be honest and inviting that kind of space. I think there is more potential for that. And the doing peace differently that we did in South Africa, in Cape Town in November, was an experiment around that. Can we do that? And it became clear that if we do slow down to speed up later, if we can really come into that connection with the heart, that people are from that longing finding more ways to take a little step for them. And the smallest step is just as important.
It's such a joy, such a blessing to gather together for this symposium that reminds us not only that we are united as one earth, one universe, one consciousness, but that also reminds us that we are spiraling up together in coherence, in consciousness, not separate, but together. And this is actually what our Vedic traditions, what our Dharma has been telling us for thousands of years. Time is not linear, it's cyclical. And it's cyclical that is getting higher and higher and higher as we awaken more and more fully, more and more deeply to the truth of who we are, to that coherence and to that consciousness.
I had a dream about 25 years ago that was very foundational for me. And the dream said this. It said, there's nothing wrong with the human species today except one thing. This is quite startling in itself. I think we could all make a list of 100 things that's wrong with the human species today. But no, the dream said only one thing is wrong with our species. Quote, you have forgotten the sense of the sacred, unquote. You have forgotten the sense of the sacred. Recovering the sense of the sacred, therefore, is obviously foundational to our future as a species and the future of this planet as we know it, and so many other species. How do we go about recovering a sense of the sacred? Well, Thomas Berry, a Catholic priest and geologian, he called himself, a student of today's science, the New Cosmic Story from Science, says that we recover a sense of awe and wonder, which is the sacred, only by rediscovering the universe itself as the primary sacred reality. Well, the universe itself is being rediscovered today. We've got Webb telescope going, pouring images and stories of the beauty of the universe from 13.8 billion years ago right up to today. We are being continually blessed by today's science. And science is one of the sources of wisdom just as much as our religious traditions are today. It's part of deep ecumenism, of interspirituality, to incorporate science, and especially these stories about cosmology and the universe we live in on a regular basis, into our hearts, into our rituals, into our feelings, to move beyond the anthropocentrism that has marked so much of the modern era, so that we can contribute together to a beautiful world and to the wonder that this planet of ours is in the midst of all the other 2 trillion galaxies, each with hundreds of stars.
The understanding of interspirituality isn't the new concept. It didn't just come up with Brother Teasdale or others. If you go back 3,000 years ago and read some ancient Hindu texts, it talks about interspirituality, it talks about the oneness of all of us. 800 years ago, St. Francis of Assisi, who, I believe one of the most misunderstood, one of the most revered saints, but one of the most misunderstood. He's, often understood as the bird bath saint, when that has no concept of who he really is. But St. Francis of Assisi understood the idea of the oneness of all creation. A few years after St. Francis, there was a Franciscan scholar and theologian, philosopher, John Duns Scotus, who wrote what he called the univocity of being, the understanding of the uniqueness of each part of creation coming together to form the oneness of all creation. What's interesting about that is that a few years before he wrote that, there was a Sufi mystic, Ibn al-Farid, who wrote what he called the unity of being. If you read both of these concepts, they're almost identical. And they talk again about the oneness of all creation, the oneness of each of us. And so if we're going to talk about interspirituality, we're not talking about it as something brand new just happening that we're creating. We're going back, reimagining our spirituality. We even have to look at some of our indigenous cultures, the Aboriginals, the first people in the Americas, even my own Aboriginal, my own indigenous culture, the Celtic. They all believed in the oneness of creation and the oneness of us and the earth and the interconnectedness of all of us. So for me, interspirituality is about being connected to everything and to everybody. And again, one last thing I'll say is, and this more for Christianity but also for other religions, the idea that our whole Christian faith is based on a theology that our whole purpose here is to get to there, wherever there is. I often ask the question, do you think Jesus came with a building plan or an evacuation plan? Because all of our theology is centered around an evacuation plan, and everything Jesus taught us is about building, creating the kingdom of heaven here, now. So I'll leave it on that note, and I'll just leave it with one last thing that Thomas Berry wrote. And Thomas Berry, as you all know, was one of the founders of the eco-spirituality movement, but he also was a founder in interspirituality. And he said, we go forth with a singular spirituality or we'll perish in the desert. And he wasn't talking about whether we worship on Friday night or Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. He wasn't talking about how we hold our hands or what name we use for God. He was talking about our understanding and our belief in the oneness and the interconnectedness of all creation. So peace and all good, and thank you.
But the reality of what is going on is it's not exactly the direction that we all hope to be walking right now. So I feel that this conversation is important because we are also at the cusp and the crossroads where we have the opportunity to really manifest this energy and the likeness of God and the Spirit of God in a time when humanity, deep within our soul, we are thirsting for this love. But this love cannot be found through deliberations, through conversations, through isolating ourselves in a mountain and meditating on our own. This love can only be found through our spiritual activism to go across borders, to go across the divides, to go across where people have been injured, to go across where there's injustice, to go across where our fellow humanity is being, dealt with in a way that is not fair, and become that energy of bringing us back to basics, bringing us back to believing that we are the children of God, and it's through us that God can manifest on earth.
Don't you sense we are on the edge of something vast? There's something that we can't quite put it into words, but that it's this momentum building. And this is basically the sense of what we have as the movement of movements, or the Holo movement, which is literally the movement of the whole, a term coined by David Bohm many years ago that Will Keepin will tell us all about. But I don't know about you, but I feel that there's a wave coming, a wave of energy that is showing up just in time when so much feels like it's buckling and dissembling all around us. And even in the midst of this thing that feels like a lot is ending and having, a real sense of dissolving, there's this possibility that maybe something is forming beyond our current understanding, perhaps, but we feel it in our hearts, and that there's a strong interconnection between things, a strong interconnection that helps this sense of there's something beautiful arising, like a beautiful new world that's possible around us, in us, between us. And it's like I sense, maybe you do, this possibility that there's shoots of new life coming up from the old cement of the past. Well, this is essentially the Holo movement.
The Holo movement, I call it the science of cosmic interbeing. Here's how it's defined by David Bohm, physicist David Bohm. The cosmos is a single unbroken wholeness and flowing movement in which everything is connected to everything else. Now, the Holo movement has two aspects, which are called the explicate order and the implicate order. And the explicate order is basically the physical universe that we can perceive through our mind and senses. The implicate order is the vast unseen cosmos, the spiritual universe, perceived especially through the heart. Now, David Bohm was a leading pioneer in science and spirituality both. He went beyond Einstein and reformulated quantum physics to include quantum non-locality. Then over the subsequent 70 years, this was experimentally validated. He conducted extensive dialogues with leading spiritual masters, Krishnamurti, the Dalai Lama, and others. And then he developed the Holo movement, which unifies science and spirituality. Now, what does the Holo in the Holo movement mean? Don't be intimidated by this. It just means that reality has a fractal or holographic structure. The simplest example is given by that formula at the bottom. If you plot the graph of that formula, you get this figure, and it has a very unique structure. If we zoom in right at the top, we get this. And just bear with me here. I'm going to zoom in again, and we get this. So we're sort of diving in, magnifying by a factor of 10 each time. We zoom right into the center, and we get this. We zoom into the center pinch point there, and we get this. We zoom into that cross at the center, we get this. We zoom into that star at the center, we get this. We zoom into that black spot at the center, and voila, 136 million times smaller, we see an exact replica of the original. This is the holographic essence of the Holo movement. Fractals, or this holographic structure, are modern scientific discovery of the ancient principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. Now, we might think this is all just mathematics, but it's all around us in the natural world. Look at a fern. Each leaf of the fern is a miniature replica of the whole. The wonderful Romanesque broccoli, each nodule on that broccoli is a miniature version of the entire thing. And if you look at the surface, each tiny, tiny little nodule is itself a miniature replica of the whole. Tree branches. Each branch is like a miniature trunk with its own branches. Lightning has the same structure. This is the human eye. You can see the pupil at the top, the iris. That's the blood vessels in the human body have this same fractal structure, as do the trachea and the lungs. So in analogous, direct analogy to these examples in nature, consciousness itself has a fractal structure. As Rumi puts it, as he so eloquently does, the secret turning in your heart makes the entire universe turn. And we see this across all the religions, that there is this oneness with the infinite divine, whether it's in the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, the Quran, Al-Haq from Al-Halaj, the Psalms. We see that the teaching of all of these scriptures and religions is that the full infinity of divinity is within you. So you are not just a drop from the infinite ocean. You are the drop. I'm sorry, you are the infinite ocean contained in a single drop.
And my gem I want to bring is something I learned the year I met Wayne Teasdale, who to me is the inspiration of all of this. And it's 1999. It was Cape Town, South Africa. Many of us were there. And not only was I introduced to interspirituality, but I was introduced to a term, Ubuntu. And that is the gem I am bringing to this group. Because Ubuntu means I am because we are. We're all connected. We're all part of a circle. We are because I am, which means that each of us is unique and has a gift that only each of us can manifest. Therefore, our job is to foster that gift in every other person. And so we have 4 Ubuntu hubs in Africa where we're building schools and hospitals and universities and all kinds of wonderful things to see this word incarnate in the lives of communities from Uganda to Zimbabwe to Kenya to Cameroon.
Listening is a sacred art and a spiritual practice. And we find one of the first things that I noticed when I got involved in interfaith work about in 1991, however long ago that is, was the fact that we needed some way of communicating with people who had different belief systems and different ways of thinking about their spiritual lives that would get us not in a cooperative mode and in a way that we could speak in a safe space and not have to be concerned about someone trying to change our minds about our faith tradition. And so listening and with respect and speaking with respect was a very big part of that.
Matthew Martin said, imagine a political coalition of spiritual, religious, ecological, peace and social justice groups joining together to transform national and global politics, to make decisions and policies based on the highest spiritual, humanistic and ecological values. Let's join Matthew in imagining that political coalition of spiritual, religious, ecological, peace and social justice groups indeed.
I want to briefly address the darkness of the world today that Gard Jameson called the pain of the planet, the never-ending wars, the revelations of depravity, the rise to the surface of xenophobia and racism. Everyone coming together under the banner of Unity Earth must take our name seriously. Unity is rare here on planet Earth, but we are holding such an important light. And the light always conquers the darkness, although maybe not as fast as we would like it to. But this symposium has taken us on a journey to the future.
giving new energy for planetary consciousness as we spiral up together. So we started on day one when we gathered as family, and we had that special feeling of one home, as Rama and Alexander would say. And then on day two, we examined new kinds of partnerships. Julie Kroll pointed us so brilliantly toward partnerships that are based on aligned frequency and harmony that weaves together our differences. Syed Salman Chishti mentioned shared noble intention. I love that phrase because really ours could not be more noble as we all strive to bring this planet to a place of more light. And I love that Jonathan Granoff spoke about Hearts Without Borders. Beautiful. And Yuka Sayanji and Laura Rose spoke about the importance of caring for one another. And Laura spoke, and Kay Lindahl. Kay Lindahl spoke so beautifully about experiencing wonder and awe. And then on day three, when we moved into the future of interspirituality, we explored the spiritual foundation that fuels this new energy for planetary consciousness. We are rediscovering the golden rule with Ambassador Muse Hailu and the unitive narrative with Dr. Jude Currivan and the wisdom of indigenous peoples and leading from the heart. Our amazing Kurt Johnson said that our work must be consistent and courageous. So let us take his words to heart in the love story that Yanni Maniatis just referenced, and let us spiral up together in unity.
I love that Rev Deb was kind of our final presenter. I'm going to take a quick look at some of the chat, and I want to ask you, Irina, maybe to share with our audience, what are some of the other voices or things that stood out for you that we didn't get a chance to see in this video?
Oh, so many, Scott. People in the chat have been asking if they can watch the replay. So yes, they are available on our Unity Earth TV page, on our website, and also on our Unity Earth YouTube channel. And I'll pop the links in there again. So many. We had, I think, almost 40 speakers, definitely over 35. So over 11 hours of content. So I would suggest that, you just go to the links and to our page and browse, see, watch all of the sessions, or any one that sort of the titles jumps out at you. I think for me personally, the main takeaway from this entire event, the whole symposium, from Julie Kroll to Deb Mulder at the end and everyone in between, I love how Julie Kroll said that the leadership should be rooted in energy, frequency, and vibration. And that really sort of speaks of entire, not just symposium message, but the whole movement and where we need to go collectively. Because on that high vibration, there's no any other way to operate but in oneness, in honesty, in integrity, in peace and love. Anything else especially of low vibration cannot take place. So that's something that I personally thought more deeply about it throughout the symposium and after the symposium. And I think every single speaker had that underlying message that, to go forward collectively, globally, as one race, as a human race, in humility, in oneness, in love, in peace, that the frequency, energy, and vibration is of the highest importance. And also to go forward in synchronicity with Mother Earth and the entire universe, because looking at nature, the law of coherence already exists in nature. Everyone has a role, and everything has a role, and everything coexists together so beautifully. Nature also operates on universe's law or universal laws. So I think it's us humans that need to catch up with that energy, with that frequency, with that vibration. And the only way to do that is to spiral up.
Beautifully stated. Thank you so much, Irina, for sharing that with us. And Amanda Waring, just beware, I'm going to go to you in a moment. But for all of our friends watching on Zoom, on Facebook and YouTube, if you want to watch the entire programs, all of them, go to unity.earth/TV. And that's where you'll find all the different Unity Earth symposiums, all the different sessions. I think most of the sessions were 2 hours long. Is that accurate?
Yes, about 2.5 hours. So there's in total 4 sessions, and about 2.5 hours each.
Right. So there it all is. And thank you, Irina, for being with us. And thank you, Tom, wherever you are. I think you're still in the Zoom room with us. God bless you. And thank you.
Yes, he did an excellent job putting these highlights together. Thank you so much, Tom. And so much love and thanks to you, Scott, for giving us this opportunity. It was so wonderful to relive the symposium. Ben was sending me messages throughout saying, oh, it's so great to see all this again. Yes, so thank you so much. And thank you for giving us opportunity to share this with the wider audience, which is also very important.
And I look forward to collaborating with you again in September for International Peace Week.
Absolutely.
And
Maybe even
next year,
before.
please, when you schedule it, don't schedule it the same weekend as the please.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right. Well, speaking of Unity Earth, one of our friends that's been on this show before, who's almost always on Unity Earth, Unity Earth has a meeting every Wednesday. And I popped in just in time to see Amanda Waring. They kind of dedicated today's show to Amanda and your wonderful work. Now, of course, you've been on our show, you've recited poetry and shared your wisdom. But I'd love to give you a few minutes to share with the audience a little bit of what I got a chance to see earlier this afternoon. So welcome, Amanda.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here. Yes, so tonight, well, it's tonight in the UK, we did a program on death and dying. So a really important subject matter. So I am a death doula, an author and a filmmaker on end-of-life care. And part of the reasoning for around this was the lovely Linda DeHart and I had created a beautiful short film that really expressed part of me taking somebody through their passing that was a dancer. And where I feel at this moment really, really honoured to be given that time to share with the audience that was there. How do we now look at death and dying in a way that is not shielding us from it, but guiding us through it? How can we look at supporting each other to have those deep conversations so we're not left in a desperate state where questions haven't been talked about, wishes haven't been granted for what people would like or consider for their passing, that we make it a much more normal, loving conversation way before we get to, a time when perhaps it is our natural passing. So, and Omasho's just said, would I read that book excerpt? If that's fine, I would love to. I've written 2 books on death and dying, and over 50 films I've made on death and dying as well, and training packs. And in the UK, I set up the Dignity and Care campaign that's had about 250,000 dignity champions. So it's a passion of mine from the personal perspective of my mother and her passing, which was good in the end. But I think we also were discussing those uplifting moments where the unexplainable, the butterflies that appear when a loved one has passed, or the other signs that are there, or that moment when you're sitting with the dying and you feel when that spirit has gone and the body is just left as that shell. But Scott, if that's all right, are you happy to me to read?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so Omashad, this is your request. So this is from my book, The Heart of Care. And this talks about my trainings and workshops that I do, and I teach doctors and nurses around compassionate care as well as carers. So in my training sessions and workshops, I like to retell the story of an American doctor, Paul Ruskin, who was giving a lecture to graduate nurses on the psychological aspects of aging. He told them, the patient neither speaks nor comprehends the spoken word. Sometimes she babbles incoherently for hours on end. She is disorientated about person, place, and time. She does, however, respond to her own name. And I've worked with her for the past 6 months, but she still shows complete disregard for her physical appearance and makes no effort to assist in her own care. She must be fed, bathed, and clothed by others. And because she has no teeth, her food must be pureed. Her shirt is usually soiled from almost incessant drooling, and she does not walk. Her sleep patterns are erratic, and often she wakes in the middle of the night and her screaming awakens others. Most of the time she is friendly and happy, but several times a day she gets quite agitated without apparent cause, and then she wails until someone comes to comfort her. So I asked how the nurses would feel about taking care of such a patient. And they use such words as frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and annoyed. And when I said that I enjoyed it and thought that they would too, the class looked at me in disbelief. And then I passed around a picture of the patient, my 6-month-old daughter. So why is it so much more difficult to care for a 90-year-old than a 6-month-old with identical symptoms? A helpless baby may weigh 15 pounds and a helpless adult 100. But the answer goes deeper than this. The infant represents new life, hope, and almost infinite potential. The aged patient represents the end of life with little chance for growth in some aspects. But we need to change our perspective. Those who are ending their lives in the helplessness of old age deserve the same care and attention as those who are beginning their lives in the helplessness of infancy. And I suppose what I'm asking for everyone is to say this is a rallying cry, because all of us are getting older. There's not necessarily going to be carers for us other than the people that we can get to care for us. So we really, all of us need a national care service so that we're taught loving principles of person-centered care at school. It becomes part of the curriculum. And when I say, we've got a national care service, I've spoken about it a lot on the UK and TV, but they say, oh no, that's not possible. And I'm going, but we haven't even tried that. Of course it could be possible. So I don't know, for me, we are going to have to, as a society, take this on board, which gives us our humanity the chance to give and receive love. You know, love in care is not a dirty word. Love in care is what it's about, and what's been squeezed out through all of these policies and procedures, and shortening the hours that people can have with elders or anyone that's dying, is that we've just we've squeezed out our humanity, and we've placed it with carers that are overworked, overwhelmed, underpaid. And this system has to change. It has to change now. So we can do this. I totally believe that we can do this if we look at systems changing. And I've been very lucky with my films that I've made. One of my films called What Do You See? And I took it to the Prime Minister when I made that film, which was now 25 years ago. And I said, we have to start putting the word dignity into training, because it wasn't even in the training of doctors and nurses, that concept. And so many times I've seen older people treated with a lack of respect. And now, as we're embracing the understanding of elderhood and what that means, and the honouring of all of our life stages, whatever age we are at, each one is as valid as the other, and each are interconnected, and we're our own unified being. So if we can embrace all those ages that we are and the ages that we're going to become, and not be frightened of addressing our growth. You know, we don't criticize a tree for growing age upon age upon age and getting stronger and looking upwards. But we kind of seem to do that for humans, and our spirits are growing all the time. So this is my work, and I'd love to share a poem with you that kind of relates to what we were talking in the world situation, the symposium as well, and also our death and dying. And it's this: if you plant a seed and it takes root elsewhere, don't turn your back. The seed is still there. It's sowing that matters, the courage to try. Nerves may be shattered, but the seed cannot die. So let's celebrate all the seeds of love, compassion, interaction that we have shared with loved ones. And let's celebrate all the new seeds to come, which will be deepening that understanding of the sacredness of dying and the sacredness of living, and the bridging of the two in a rainbow arc that we will, I believe, remember. If we can remember to let go of our physical body in a gentle way. One of the ways that I was discussing today was about a body blessing. And if you have time, and if that's appropriate, I can take us through a little tiny body blessing. How are you for time, Scott?
Well, we're way over time. If you can you keep it? How long would it be, dear?
Oh, I could do it in 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes max, and ideally 1, because we're about a half an hour over time already, and we still have the great Mayor Cromwell ahead of us. So
Amazing. Okay, we just imagine that you're going to bless your hands. We're allowing ourselves to let go of our physical form by honoring it and blessing it. So bless your hands. These beautiful hands. Think about your hands that have given you the opportunity to touch, caress, paint, to be able to stroke your pets, to love. Bless these hands. And let's bless your feet, your amazing feet that have allowed you to walk the land, to travel, to see loved ones. Bless your incredible feet that have given you the opportunity to dance and jump, to be in the sea, to be in the grass, and come up to your mind. Bless your beautiful mind that has stored and learned and shared so much knowledge and has found so many solutions. And bless your beautiful heart that has felt so much, that has loved and held so much and will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amanda. And thank you, Desiree Omashar Diarra, for kind of presenting that. And for people who want to know more about what Amanda provides, her website is easy to find because it's her name, amandawaring.com. Amanda, A-N-D-A, Waring, W-A-R-I-N-G.com. So for all of our friends watching on YouTube and on Facebook, there it is. And if you scroll down, you can learn all about about her and about her many offerings. And I think that we can find care is where we can find what you were just talking about.
Yes.
So if you click care, that takes you to learn more about this beautiful work that she's doing with the Heart of Care. So God bless you so much, Amanda. We really
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
And it's got to be what, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning?
It's nearly 4.
Well, thank you.
But it was so worth to be with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's great to have you with us. So very, very grateful. All right. We are going to go now to Mayor Cromwell. And thank you, Mayor, for waiting for a little bit. She reached out to me, and once she told me what she was up to, I knew that we needed to have her come on and share it. So here is Mayor Cromwell. Hello there, Mayor.
Hi, Scott. Thank you so much for just saying, come next week, because I literally landed this on you, I think on Friday or Thursday. Thank you for having me. And love to you, Amanda, because we had a great connection in the fall. And I have to share this very quickly. This has been with me in my pocket and my hands all day, and this is what I see with the Unity Earth. So, it's just, I don't know, there are no coincidences. So Scott asked me to come on to share about something really big that's happening more on the East Coast of the United States, on the other side of the big pond from Amanda. And before I share it, I'm on the East Coast and it's close to 11. I've been up since like 5 in the morning, but that's okay. What I want to ask everyone to do is just take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, and then just drop to your heart. Beautiful. I can feel all of you doing that. And then from there, drop to Mother Gaia's heart by visualizing a beautiful cord of energy going down your spine from your tailbone straight to Mother's heart. Just drop this cord of energy. It's a love cord connection. Thank you, Scott. I was going to post some information too. And so what I want to talk about briefly is that there is a woman named Whitney Freya. I'm not the organizer of this event. It's called the Great Mother March. And Whitney's based out in Oregon, and she got a very clear spiritual call from the mother saying, I want you to organize the Great Mother March. Kind of the messages I get from Mother when Mother told me to write the Great Mother Bible and to organize 1,000 Goddesses Gathering. But Whitney's the one who got this call. I sit on her visionary council, and she's a dynamo. She didn't have time to be part of this today. And this is a 500-mile empowerment spiritual pilgrimage from Asheville, North Carolina, which is just down the street from me. Like, that's where we do our grocery shopping, to Washington, D.C., arriving in D.C. on Earth Day, April 22nd. And a lot of people, when they were hearing about this in the past few months, were like, oh, the monks, the Walk for Peace. This is similar, but this is the Great Mother March. And Whitney got this spiritual call long before the monks became so mainstream, at least in the United States, and it's so amazing what they did. And the mother said to Whitney, I want you to make me visible. And I want to show you something. Because of Whitney, she prompted me, you can't really see it. Do you see this?
Yes.
These are leggings. that's taken me 10 years to finally get made off the cover of one of my books, The Great Mother Bible, because Whitney came along and said, Mare, you need to get leggings made of your book cover, basically, because we want to wear them. She's going to be wearing them. Other people are going to be wearing them. The mother is, it's time for the mother, the great mother, to come in. We're all yearning. If you really think about it, I think every single one of us is yearning for the mother to hold us right now and tell us that everything's going to be fine, and give us warm cookies and a hot cup of milk and put us to bed and say to us in the morning, it's going to be beautiful. Just go to sleep, my love.
Yeah.
You know, she's really, really calling out to us. And if there is time, which I don't know if there will be, Scott, and it's fine if there isn't, I was going to give an actual message from Mother, and we can do that another time, if you want.
I actually would still love for you to do that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me talk a little bit more about the Great Mother March, and let me put this information in the chat. So where is that?
I've actually popped in both the document. So I'm going to show this to everybody. For those of you in the Zoom room,
Thank you.
In a document, and if you click it, there it is. And then I'm also going to put in the website. So you can go ahead and speak, and I'll handle that, Mare.
Okay, beautiful. So this is really, it's a walk of empowerment. It's a walk, it's a pilgrimage. It is not a march to fight against. It is a walk to take us into the future, to take us into the collective way, just as Unity Earth with the symposium last weekend, partnering our hearts together, partnering our visions of how beautiful our world can be. And it already is, actually. The seeds are being planted all over the planet of beautiful ways that we can thrive, not just survive, but thrive into this new earth. And so Whitney's come along, and she's absolutely brilliant. She's an artist, she's an author, spiritual coach. And I'm going to read a little bit about from the manifesto. This is all on that website. You can go to the website anytime, hopefully soon. And this is what she wrote as a manifesto. We are walking, not away from something, but toward what we know is possible. We walk not as individuals seeking power, but as a community remembering our wholeness. We walk because we are ready to embody the world we long for, a world where care is currency. And I'm getting chilly bumps reading this. Care is currency and compassion is strength. Earth is not a resource, but a living relative. And I would add, she's our foremost mother. Feminine wisdom is honored in all its forms. Communities thrive through collaboration, not competition. Trees don't compete. They are collaborating all the time. Diversity is celebrated as sacred design. Leadership flows from empathy, vision, and integrity. Action is taken out of love, not fear. Change is not a concept, it is a practice. And that the future is not waiting for us, it is asking to be co-created through us, step by step, breath by breath, together. So we walk in devotion to the feminine principle, not as a gender, but as a sacred intelligence that lives in all of us, regardless of identity, the power to nurture, the courage to feel, the wisdom to listen, the resilience to care, create, include, and imagine. We honor the feminine not by excluding the masculine, but by restoring the harmony between doing and being, action and reflection, striving and surrender. We gather to reconnect with the earth, with each other, and with a part of ourselves that remembers that we belong. So this is not a protest, it's a living prayer. This is not a spectacle, it is sacred work. This is not for them to fix, it is for us to become. We march for justice, for healing, for regeneration. We march for the mothers and the waters, the teachers and the trees, the future generations and the ancestral wisdom that still lives in our bones. We believe in practical magic being shared meals, shelter offered, feet sore from the road, We believe in circles over hierarchies, in conversation over competition, in art as medicine and movement as truth. We're not waiting for permission. We're not counting on existing structures. We are moving and creating as one, a body of many hearts in service to love, life, and the great mother who lives in us all. This is how we rise. This is how we remember. This is how we walk the way forward. So join us, walk with us, embody love, a walk for love. And I want to add that women and children and men in different countries, not just the United States, are making hearts, drawing them and cutting them out and mailing them, some to me, some to another woman in Charlottesville, so that everybody who's walking in this pilgrimage will be giving hearts out to people they are meeting on the street or in the store where they're using the bathroom or, wherever it is. They're giving hearts out. And if you're really inspired and you don't think you can do the walk, which I don't blame you because it's less than a month off, you can donate to the Great Mother March because Whitney is burning through her savings right now. And I did the same thing when I did the first 1,000 Goddesses Gathering. I know this path. But Whitney is incredible, and I am so honored to be supporting her. And I'll share something with you because this speaks to a lot of what I do. I spent yesterday with a good friend. We did high ceremony in our living room. The altar's still up on the floor. And we put together gift baggies. You ready for this? With lavender, tobacco, beads, and sometimes there was a little sacred stone or a little goddess piece. And we blessed it, we loved it up, we asked all the spirit teams to love it up, we called on the nature spirits, the unicorns, Sasquatch, you name it. Mother Gaia, of course, creatures of the universe, Great Father, Great Mother, and we bless these little gift baggies so that everybody on the march who can access one of these, because I'm going to be giving them away free at the kickoff event on the 21st of March in Asheville. These are gifts to the nature spirits, the tree spirits, the water spirits. I'm going to be leading water ceremony for them on the first morning, and then a week later at another campsite they're going to be at, or co-leading really. And my piece to this little piece is that let's involve all the sacred seen and unseen ones, because we on earth are not just humans. We're surrounded by all these sacred seen and unseen ones. Plants could not grow without the nature spirits. People have no idea how important they are. And so by blessing them and honoring them and loving them up with these gifts, the nature spirits and the tree spirits are going to be loving the women and the pilgrimage people up. It's a reciprocation. It's a sacred exchange. And so it's kind of like the song, The Wind Under My Wings. This is what I'm hearing on the spirit plane from the nature spirits from Mother Gaia, is let's bless them with the wind under their wings, because this is a long walk. And they're going to be camping. And I'm trying to figure out, can I camp with them? I haven't camped in like 30 years. I used to camp all the time, and I'm become a wuss. And I actually was thinking today about, I'm going to buy a tent, and I'm going to be with them a couple of nights. I'm going to buy a tent. I'm actually going to sleep on the ground. It's like beyond my comfort level, but it never used to be before. So if anybody has any quick questions, I know the time is running out. I could phase into a message from Mother Gaia right now, or what would you like to do, Scott?
Yeah, I think it would be great for you in a moment to just get a message from Mother. I do want to show people on Facebook and YouTube the website. It's easy to remember. It's greatmothermarch.com. Greatmothermarch.com. I'm not going to show this video, but there's a wonderful video from the founder, Whitney, that we've been hearing Mayor share with us. And I am going to read a couple of comments from the audience. Karen S. says, you're beginning the march from one of my favorite cities. I came very close to moving to that area. Carol Craig acknowledging the priestess ceremonies with Eden Amadora. I had dinner with Eden last night, and we're planning a couple of wonderful shows that are going to take place in the spring, including the anniversary show. And just want to appreciate all the comments that have come in tonight. I haven't had a chance to read many of them, but thank you. Also, when Mara is done with her message from the Mother, we will go to Diara and Desiree for some prayer. And then I've got a couple of Global Peace Tribe announcements and an overture song. So tonight's going to be a little bit of a longer show because there's so many good things happening. And Mare, would love for you to drop in and see what the mother has to say for our audience tonight.
Yeah, and before I do that, I just want to say that if you are inspired to get some paper and coloring pens, whatever, and make some hearts, mail them to me by the end of this month. Mail them to me, and I will deliver them to the women who are doing this major walk, and the men, and the whoever, children, transgender people. It's open to everybody. Okay, I have to switch gears here. Yes, please. Yes, yes.
She's saying yes to DR's question.
Get
Get
the schools to make hearts and mail them to me, and I'll make sure they get them. Actually, Earth Haven is a couple miles from where I live. Anyway, let me drop into or drop forward or rise up, however this. Oh. Oh, my beloved children. Please know how much I love you. I am your mother. I am your mother who sources from the center of this earth, and my love ripples out through everything in the entire planet, out into the atmosphere, all the multidimensional zones. Please feel my love. You are never alone. Call on me and I will come and hold you. If you really are feeling in a place where you want to be held, I'm holding you all the time as it is. I want you to know that I love every one of my beloved two-leggeds on our sacred earth together. I even love those political leaders and economic leaders that you may not be happy with right now at all, from your lens. I would love to have the occupant of the White House know that he can call out to me, because I yearn to hold him in my lap, to my breast, and coddle him and let him know that he is safe. And all the fear that's in his heart that is just wreaking havoc within himself as a spiraling web of havoc from his great pain could be healed by me, his foremost mother, if he knew to turn to me. There's so much I want to share with you. I would love for every single one of you to connect with me every day. Touch the trees. Do you know how much the trees are actually reaching out to each and every one of you with their energy and in their hearts, because trees are all heart. They're not just standing lumber. They're heart. They're brilliant intelligence and wisdom. The nature spirits who do really exist. I love my fairies and elves and dryads and sirens and mermaids, and the list goes on and on and on and on. They also know how much humanity is suffering right now. They see this, they feel it. They are reaching out to you from their realms, which are really beautiful, high-frequency realms of joy. Call on them. It would mean the world to them for you to recognize that they exist. And that's a bad pun. I am going to share something that may be disturbing or may be beautiful for some or all of you. What is happening right now on the earth, has all been planned, as chaotic and as painful as it is for you in the human realms. This has all been planned. Please know that beyond your human realms of drama, trauma, chaos, war, suffering, genocide, the list is so horrific. Beyond that, the energies that are coming in from off planet, the spiritual beings who are coming in to help activate the waters, activate the springs, activate the trees, activate the soil. There are just countless, countless beings, dragon beings, angelic ones, avatars. The list goes on and on, who are showering our sacred earth with so much luminous love. And I'm inviting you to take a deep breath right now and tune in to those realms. And take heart and take hope that this is truth. This is happening. And what is playing out is something that is very complicated, and yet not so complicated. There is a great birthing happening now that some of you all know about it. People have been talking about the new earth, humans for a while now. But what's happening is there is a rising up, as in the Earth Unity, Earth Symposium was calling its theme. There's a rising up into a new earth, of very high dimensional frequencies and ways of being, harmony and peace and balance, in another multidimensional set of zones here on Earth that coexist with the denser zones. And as this rising up is happening, the denser zones are going to be getting a bit more dense. And gradually, in the coming thousands of years, that earth will be sloughed off of me. So your choice as a soul who has chosen a body at this time on earth, you know you chose this time. On the soul level, you know that. Your higher self knows that. You have a choice every moment of every day of, are you choosing love over fear? Are you learning how to love yourself and heal your wounded inner child? And whatever may be a trauma you carry from a past life, can you surrender out of your ego to serving the new earth? Because it's coming in, and there are a lot of humans who are dancing in it already. I am not trying to scare you. I want you to feel the love. And I'm going to say that again and bring more energy in for all of you. I want you to feel the love, my love, your Earth Mother, your Mother Gaia, the love from the angelic realms, the love of Mary Magdalene, who's coming forward more and more and more to so many people, the love of the Christ consciousness, the love of the nature spirits, the tree people, the standing ones, the stone people, the waters of the world. Our water is liquid love. That is its essential sacred nature. And I'm going to ask Mare to do something right now, because she has a mandate from me to bring this to everybody she can. But last fall, Mare connected in with the heart of water from a very high level divine feminine set of beings way off planet. So I'm passing this over to Mare right now. Oh, I am that I am, calling on the heart of water to come in and bless every single beautiful person who is here within this sacred circle. May the heart of water fill your cells, Feel all the water in your body, in your blood, the tissue in your body, your brain tissue. If you have any water near you where you're sitting, blessing, asking the heart of water to bless that water. I, Mother Gaia, have been yearning for the heart of water to come back into water. And it's coming back in now. And you are invited to call on the heart of water every day, several times a day, whenever you use any water, and bless it. Bless the water you're using with the heart of water. Call it in. You are receiving this frequency right now. It's within you. It's touching your heart, your cells, your skin, your hair. Well, that is it for now, from me, Mother Gaia. Mayor's tired. Yes, I am tired. So much love and gratitude to every single one of you who chose to be here, part of this show, who show up every time for Scott and Omashar and all the beautiful love that's shared here, and healing energies, and prayers to Bonnie, who feels alone. Bonnie, you're never alone. Mother is always there with you. Always, always, always. May you really feel her love right now and give back to her. Plant a tree, plant flowers, love up the plants in your house, call on the heart of water. Go out in the woods and feel the love from the trees and give it back to them. It's all a sacred dance of energy, and Mother's waiting for us to come back home to Gaia's web of love, which has always existed, and we humans lost our way. Oh.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go to gallery view, and everybody who's got your cameras on, we should send appreciation to Mare for her beautiful modeling of devotion and connection to the beloved Mother Earth Gaia. There's a lot of hearts and a lot of twinkles and a lot of appreciation. And okay, that's a beautiful modeling you've done for us tonight, Mare.
If anyone's interested in my books, I've got books of channel messages from Mother. You can go to greatmotherlove.earth website. I'll type it in there. I'm shaking right now. I don't usually, when I channel her, it's usually me and a video running, and I put it up on YouTube. And I will be doing a longer State of the Earth report from Mother. Mother's telling me it's time to really do another one, and it'll be more comprehensive.
Well, when you do that, let us know, and I'll definitely, remind our audience during our Global Peace Tribe announcements.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely, and I'll
Scott,
also,
go ahead.
No, and once you put the link in, I'll bring it up, and then we're going to go to Tiara and Desiree. So here it is. Here's the link, and I'm going to show it for all of our friends watching all around the world. It's greatmotherearth.earth. I'm sorry, greatmotherlove.earth.
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 And I teach a year-long course. You can go to the website. Scott, I have a message for you from Mother Gaia, and she's touching your heart right now. If you can feel this, because your heart has been through so much. She knows how much you've gone through. So she's offering you a heart chakra healing.
Wow.
Oh. This may continue after this show tonight.
Oh, thank you. I will. Thank you. That's unexpected and very sweet, and thank you, and well received, and thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go straight to Tiara and Desiree. Let's stay in this beautiful sacred space that Mary has created as we go into our prayer time. And I'm sure you probably wouldn't do this anyway, but I want to start ask you to start the prayer with focus on our beloved Bonnie.
Taking this beautiful softness that Mare and Mother have brought into our Mobius loop and wrapping it around you, Bonnie, wrapping it around Roger, who's nearby, and bringing this gentle energy into all the places that require softness in all of us and in every nook and cranny on this beautiful earth. And wrapping that around you again, Bonnie, just feeling that, filling your room with angels and love and light. Just amping that up.
Taking a nice big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. A lot of clearing on that heart chakra. Seeing the light codes from the words and the wisdom that was spoke on the show tonight. Just flowing in. And seeing the expansion of that reach as well. Seeing things anew.
Giving great thanks for the elementals who are present and coming in anew, these new energies, and allowing our bodies to receive even more. To all our loved ones, known and unknown. Let's expand.
I also want to ask us all now, we are the Global Peace Tribe. And I think we're all very concerned about this new war, still another war. And this war is especially terrifying for how it could expand or is expanding. Blessings for maximum grace, and that somehow, as quickly as possible, peace may prevail on the earth. And sending our love and our care to those who are suffering, those who are frightened, those who don't know when bombs are going to come and how the bombs are going to impact their family. I also ask for a prayer here in this country of the United States that some of the dynamics that are taking place here be reduced. I have tremendous compassion for people that happen to be brown-skinned, who don't feel safe to be out on the street to go to work for fear that they will be picked up by masked thugs and taken away from their family. May each of us, as Global Peace Tribers, practice compassion in everything we do, with our family, with our friends, and even with those that we disagree with. May we be the model of compassionate living that the world needs. May we follow the blessings of the Mother as channeled and brought to us by Mare tonight. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, Tiara. And thank you, Global Peace Tribers. Thank you so very much. Just a couple of announcements. I am teaching a course with my good friend Katrina Valancourt. It's going to start April 4th on relationship mastery. And I'd like to invite all of you to get a little sample free of charge to what Katrina and I are offering. So this Saturday, March the 7th, we're offering what we're calling the Relationship Reset from 9 a.m. till 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to put that into the chat box in a moment. Now, don't be alarmed. I know it says $30, but if you put in the promo code ALOHA, L-O-H-A, ALOHA, you'll get it for free. And I'd love to invite all of you to come and join us. And we'll be providing tips, tools, practices for relationship mastery. And we'll actually be answering questions. Any of you that have specific relationship issues that you want support with. I think it's going to be a fairly intimate group. So we'll be able to answer some of your questions and would love to have you join us. And I'm going to put into the chat box the password for free course. It's Aloha. So please join us this Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Pacific time. And then this Saturday night's Awakening World show is going to be really special. I mean, every show is special, okay? But this one really, we've got something quite unique planned. We're going to be celebrating the different generations of those who are Awakening World leaders. And we're going to have members of our New Generation Synergy group, some of whom you've seen, of course, Tatiana Speed and Hannah Bork are regulars on our show. But you're also going to meet an extraordinary woman, Monica from Uganda. She has started an organization helping young women in Uganda that attracted the attention of Michelle Obama. And Michelle has become very involved with Monica. Monica is the newest member of our Next Generation Synergy group. And even though our show starts at 10 p.m. Uganda time, Monica is still going to join us. And we're going to learn all about the amazing work that she's doing. And also Khadijah will be with us. She's also a new member of the group. So that kind of represents the newer generation. But we're also going to have a tribute to Michael Stillwater, who passed away about 10 days ago. And he certainly represents an older generation, the generation that Gary Malkin and myself are a part of. And then kind of in the middle between those of us that are 60s and 70s and those that are in their 30s is Connie Viveros, who you saw before. And she also has been collaborating with Monica. So we're going to be celebrating the different generations, and it's going to be a free show open to the public. So this is a good show if you have friends that you want to invite to get a taste of the Awakening World. This is a very good show to invite people to. And I'll send out an email with some of the details on it. And I really encourage all of you to invite your friends and family. All right. Well, it's been quite a long show. And thank goodness, and it's amazing, almost all of you are still with us. Thank you, Omashar, for always being here at the beginning and the end, and for sound check. I'm going to turn it over to you to close this out, brother.
Here with my family, heaven is in my heart. I sing of the love I am, and know we're never apart. One heart, one love, in this life we live. One heart, one love, in this life we live. Here with my family, heaven is in my heart. I sing of the love I am, and know we're never apart. One heart, one love, in this life we live. One last time here with my family. Heaven is in my heart. I sing of the love I am, and know we're never apart. One heart, one love, in this life we live. One heart, one love, in this life we live. We
How does he do it? He always picks the perfect song. Thank you, beloved Omashar. We are family. Family. Thank you, DR, for coining that phrase. And DR, take a look at the message from Sharon Marvel before the chat box closes. Much love, everybody. Have a beautiful few days, and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. Thank you again, Mayor. Thank you, Omashar, DR, Desiree. And God's blessings. Have a beautiful
And Ben and Arena.
Yes, yes.